Hello, welcome. This is just a short video I want to make to point out one issue I have with the WRC 8, the new game that was recently released. And I haven't seen mentions of this issue anywhere else yet, so I thought it might be a good idea to point it out for those interested. As you may know, the WRC series was always quite lacking when it came to adjusting your seat or FOV, especially the FOV slider wasn't available in the game before, so it was pretty much impossible to set at least somewhat correct FOV for your setup. It's one of the many improvements WRC 8 features is exactly this. You can now, as you can see already on the screen, you can set your seat position and FOV and camera angle and so on for every single camera view in the game. There's a couple of issues. First of all, as you can see, probably the adjustment is using just arbitrary numbers, which is a common problem in games, in racing games, I must say. So you have no idea how you're setting the game. This is especially important in FOV, of course, because in the ideal situation you would have the FOV value in degrees to know exactly what you're setting. That would be ideal. Not even the Rally 2 features that, sadly, but at least the settings are there, so that's a good thing. The range of the settings is somewhat limited, which is also a common problem. Again, the Rally 2, if I compare it, it's basically the same, especially with some cars, so you can only set the height. I would often like to go below this, but this is as low as you can go. If you adjust the camera up, then it's not, or seat up, then it's not so bad, because you can go quite high, but the lower end is somewhat limited. So that's another issue. Again, the same applies to the FOV. You can of course set the seat more to the front or to the back as well, but again, it would be nice to go a bit further now, but this is as far as it will go, as close rather. So yeah, it would be nice, but it's okay, I guess. Same applies to the FOV, but there's one more critical issue with the FOV, which I have to say I've never seen in a game before, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that. I'll just show you the FOV adjustment, see if you can spot the issue. I will not say anything now. Can you see that? For some very strange reason I honestly don't understand, they have decided to do the FOV setting in a very weird and awkward way, in my opinion. Again, I've never seen anything like it before, and it only applies to the outside of the car. In every racing game I've ever seen with FOV adjustment, when you change the FOV, it just basically zooms out or zooms in the camera, so the dashboard and virtual wheel and everything else in the car zooms as well as it should. But when I select the more narrow field of view, which I usually need to, then it just applies to the landscape, to the outside of the car, but the inside of the car stays the same. It's a fixed FOV for the car. I don't understand what they're thinking. What's the reasoning behind this? And I would assume it must be harder to do actually than just implement a simple overall FOV for everything. But the end result also is that if you set a narrower FOV like I do, I would probably go as far, even as narrow as this, then the car is still using a very wide FOV and feels like it is stretched into the distance, like you're sitting in the rear seat, and the seating position and the views of the inside of the car seems very wrong. It's a weird feeling. You can of course still adjust the position, but that doesn't change the FOV for the inside of the car. It is still fixed at a very wide setting. So this is again as close as I can go, and it still feels very weird for me to drive like this. So I can basically still can't use the cockpit view, even though we now have seat adjustments and FOV. And suddenly this also applies to every other camera in the game. So even if I choose, for example, here bonnet view, then still the FOV only applies to the outside of the car, but the car itself is fixed. That's a really strange design decision. I don't understand. So my best option I have found so far is to use the dash view, and here set the FOV I like, and set the position accordingly to have the inside of the car distract me as little as possible with its strange perspective. But then you don't see some of the instruments, so it's a trade-off. So yeah, that's some really strange choice they have made here. So we have FOV, but it's implemented in a way I've never ever seen before in a game, and it's less than ideal, I would say, but at least it's there. So that's what I wanted to show you today. I will probably do some more about WRC 8. I would like to do some sort of review or something like that, or at least a longer video where I talk more about the game and what I think of it. But basically, if you want a quick summary, then it is a solid improvement over WRC 7, definitely. And I already liked WRC 7 quite a lot, unlike many other people. I had quite a lot of fun driving that game for what it was. And WRC 8 is definitely better, but the force feedback in particular is somewhat improved, but probably not as much as I would like, but it is still a definitive improvement. So we have the seat settings, and we also have more stages, more countries, better graphics. So it is an improvement. Dynamic weather is there. It is an improvement, and I like the game so far. So that's a bit of a quick summary for you, if you like, and I will hopefully have more for you in hopefully not so distant future. I don't have any dates for you when, if at all, I do another video, but this is what I wanted to show you today. So thank you for watching, have a nice day, and see you next time.